I'm Jennifer Williams. Here with me now to recap Saturday's divisional games is Howard Balser of the Sports Exchange. Howard, who would have thought the Texans would have been within one possession of the Patriots in the fourth quarter? How were the Pats able to finally pull away with this one?
Well, I think a big factor, obviously, is that the Texans got the benefit of 3 turnovers from the Patriots, but couldn't take advantage of it. Now that was really a key for them with the turnovers. I think they only got 13 points from them. And when you look at it, I mean, they scored 4 times in the game, but unfortunately 3 were on field goals. And so it's kind of not surprising that it happened, that eventually the Patriots are just going to come up with the plays to win the game. And once they stopped turning it over, then they were going to be okay. But that's a very good defense that Houston has. And to be quite honest, I'm not that surprised that they hung in there and gave them a pretty good game because of that defense. But, hey, when you play the Patriots, there's not going to be too many times you score only 16 points and be able to win the football game.
Let's move over to the NFC. Matt Ryan is now 2-0 against the Seahawks in the playoffs. He's 0-4 against everyone else. He had a monster game, threw for over 300 yards, 3 TDs. How was he able to be so effective?
It's just a really good, everything has to be worked together in the NFL, especially on offense. And you can see now that in this second year of the Kyle Shanahan system that everybody is comfortable, most notably, of course, Ryan. And, I mean, just look at the weapons he has, the way he spreads the ball around with Julio Jones and Sanu. And, both running backs can do damage, not only running but receiving. He was getting the tight ends involved in the offense. And most important, we always talk about the Cowboys and the offensive line that they have. Well, that Falcons offensive line's pretty good. No one talks about them all that much, but that's an excellent unit, and they enable that offense to be as efficient and as effective as they are. And so, heck, we shouldn't be surprised. This is basically what the Falcons did all season in being able to put points on the board. And I don't see any reason why it's going to stop next week, whether it's the Cowboys or the Packers that they play.
All right, Howard, before we let you go, can we get predictions for Sunday's slate of action?
Well, I think that I just alluded the Cowboys and the Packers, and that game looks on paper like it should be a shootout. And it could be one of those games that comes down to whoever has the ball last will win, because both of these teams can do a lot of different things on offense. Obviously, everybody wonders, how is Dak Prescott going to play in his first playoff game? But with the way he's answered all season, whatever has been put in front of him in terms of big games, whether it's on the road, whether it's at home, he's come through. And yes, there's been some struggles at times against teams with really good defenses. But, while the Packers are better on defense, this stretch that they've had, they're still a defense that you can move the ball on. So I would expect this to be a very, very entertaining game. It's a toss-up in terms of who wins. Pittsburgh and Kansas City this is a tough matchup for the Chiefs and that defense. With the injuries they have at inside linebacker, not having Derek Johnson, they are going to have to figure out a way with that defense, obviously, to stop the passing game and the running of Le'Veon Bell. The wild card in all this is 2 things. Takeaways. The Chiefs during the regular season led the NFL with 33 takeaways, and they scored 4 defensive touchdowns. That's one big factor if they can do that against the Steelers. Then you have Tyreek Hill, 12 touchdowns during the season that have averaged 44 yards per score. If he can pull off one of those or help flip field position with good returns, if it's relatively balanced in the turnover situation, then I think it's going to be a game that favors the Steelers, even though Arrowhead Stadium is always a tough place to play.
Right, and the Steelers dominated the Chiefs, but as you just said, it's going to be a different ball game at Arrowhead. Howard, thank you so much for your time and insight.